My beloved child, you had no idea that while you were away, someone was quietly seeing you in a completely different light. You thought the silence meant nothing. You assumed your absence went unnoticed. But something shifted the moment you stepped back. Don't skip, because what I'm about to reveal is not random. While you were focusing on your own healing, your own growth, your own journey, your soulmate was watching from a distance. Not in a dramatic way. Not in a desperate way. But in a thoughtful, observant, deeply emotional way. They noticed something meaningful about you. It wasn't your appearance. It wasn't your status. It wasn't something loud or obvious. It was the way you handled being misunderstood without becoming bitter. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything. When you walked away from chaos instead of feeding it, they saw that. When you chose peace over proving a point, they felt that. When you remained kind even after disappointment. That's when something inside them shifted. Something huge is waiting for you. While you were away, they realized you are rare. They began replaying moments. Small ones. Conversations you thought were ordinary. The way you listened without interrupting. The way your eyes softened when someone spoke about their dreams. The way you didn't chase attention but still carried presence. And here's the part you never expected. Your absence didn't make them forget you. It made them understand you. Distance removed distractions. And in that quiet space, clarity grew. They started asking themselves questions they never dared to ask before. Why did I feel so calm around them? Why did their silence feel safe? Why does everything feel slightly incomplete without them? Don't skip, because this realization was not sudden. It was layered. It was unfolding slowly, like a sunrise they didn't even know they were waiting for. While you were rebuilding yourself, they were recognizing your value. They noticed your strength. They noticed your emotional maturity. They noticed the way you never forced anything. And now something inside them is changing. But this is only the beginning. Because what they discovered next about you is even more powerful than what they first noticed. Stay with me. Something meaningful has already started moving behind the scenes. And in part 2, you'll understand why this connection was never accidental. Something shifted in their heart the moment they stopped hearing your voice every day. Silence became their teacher. At first, they told themselves it was nothing. Just timing. Just space. Just life moving forward. But the quiet kept bringing your name back into their thoughts, gently, consistently, almost intentionally. Don't skip, because what they realized next was not small. They began to notice how different everything felt without your energy around them. Conversations with others felt louder but emptier. Laughter sounded fine on the surface, but it didn't feel the same. There was a depth missing. And that depth was you. While you were away, they replayed one specific memory. Not a dramatic moment. Not a grand confession. Just a simple exchange where you looked at them with understanding instead of judgment. That look stayed with them. Stay till the end. Because this is where it becomes powerful. They realized you never tried to control them. You never pressured them. You never demanded proof. You simply existed in your truth, steady and calm. And in your absence, that steadiness became undeniable. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation they weren't expecting. They understood that you made them feel seen without feeling exposed. That is rare. In a world where people perform, impress, and pretend, you were authentic. You didn't chase attention. You didn't beg to be chosen. You carried quiet confidence, and they are only now understanding what that truly meant. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this realization is not just emotional. It is transformative. They are beginning to question their own past reactions. They are noticing where they misunderstood your silence as distance, when it was actually respect. They are recognizing that your calmness was not indifference, but maturity. And here is the part that changes everything. Your absence did not weaken the connection. It refined it. Without distraction, without noise, without daily contact, what remained was pure. And what remained was you. Don't skip, because this next shift is subtle but life-changing. They are starting to feel the weight of what they almost overlooked. Not in regret. Not in fear. But in awakening. They are asking themselves whether they are ready to meet you at the level you have already reached. And this question is growing stronger each day. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your value. It was their own need to rise in order to stand beside you. Stay with me. In the next part, you will understand why this awareness is preparing the ground for something neither of you saw coming, but both of you have been waiting for. There was a quiet moment when everything finally became clear to them. Not during a dramatic event. Not in the middle of a loud conversation. But in stillness. They caught themselves smiling at a memory of you, and that smile lingered longer than they expected. Don't skip, because this is where the truth deepens. They began to understand that what they felt was not temporary curiosity. It was not convenience. It was not loneliness filling a gap. It was alignment. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that changed the entire picture. You never tried to compete with anyone. You never tried to prove you were better. You simply showed up as yourself. And in your absence, that authenticity became louder than any presence ever could. Stay till the end, because this realization is rare. They recognized that you did not drain them. You expanded them. When they were around you, they felt more like themselves. More honest. More grounded. More inspired to grow. And here is the surprising part. They started measuring everyone else against the way you made them feel. No one matched it. Not the energy. Not the depth. Not the quiet understanding. Something huge is waiting for you. Because now they see the connection differently. They see that when you stepped back, you were not running away. You were protecting your peace. You were choosing self-respect over confusion. You were showing them that love does not beg, it stands tall. That realization is reshaping their heart. Don't skip, because this next shift is powerful. They are beginning to feel a pull toward you again. Not out of habit. Not out of nostalgia. But out of clarity. They understand now that what you offered was stability in a world of uncertainty. What you carried was emotional intelligence they had not fully valued before. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation. They are no longer afraid of what this connection means. Your absence gave them perspective. Perspective gave them awareness. And awareness is turning into intention. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your strength, your calm, or your authenticity. They noticed that you are the person they feel most aligned with when they are at their best. And now, something inside them is preparing to close the distance. The question is not whether they noticed you. The question is how soon they will act on what they finally understand. Right now, even as you're listening to this, a decision is forming in their heart. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't impulsive. It was built slowly, layer by layer, through reflection, distance, and truth. Don't skip, because this is the turning point. They have reached a realization that feels almost unreal to them. While you were away, they didn't just miss you. They understood you. They finally saw that your quiet strength was never distance. It was depth. Your calmness was never indifference. It was confidence. Your silence was never rejection. It was self-respect. And that understanding changed everything. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They now recognize that you were never meant to chase them. You were meant to inspire them. And without even trying, you did. Your absence became a mirror. It showed them who they were when you were not there to steady the space. It showed them how much balance you brought simply by being present. And here is the shocking part. They are beginning to feel ready. Ready to approach you differently. Ready to speak with clarity instead of confusion. Ready to match the emotional maturity you have carried all along. This is not random. The timing of your distance, the growth you chose, the silence that felt uncomfortable at first, it all created this moment. Don't skip, because this awareness is powerful. They are no longer seeing you as someone who might stay. They are seeing you as someone they do not want to lose again. That shift is profound. It means they are moving from uncertainty to intention. From passive feelings to conscious choice. Stay with this feeling. Because the most meaningful part of this story is not that they noticed something about you while you were away. It's that what they noticed is now guiding their next move. They see your value. They feel your absence. They understand your worth. And now, they are standing at the edge of a decision that could change everything. The silence between you is no longer empty. It is full of realization. The next time your name crosses their mind, it won't feel like a memory, it will feel like a calling. Something inside them has settled. Not rushed. Not pressured. But certain. Don't skip, because this is where everything becomes real. They have stopped questioning whether what they felt was meaningful. That doubt is gone. In its place is a quiet conviction that you were never just another chapter. You were a turning point. While you were away, they didn't just recognize your value. They recognized your impact. They see now how you challenged them without competing. How you inspired growth without demanding change. How you walked away with grace instead of drama. And that grace stayed with them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are beginning to understand that meeting you was not accidental timing. It was alignment. Out of all the faces, all the voices, all the connections in their life, yours feels different. Not louder. Not overwhelming. Just deeper. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization that surprised even them. They feel safest when they imagine building a future that includes you. That thought no longer feels distant. It feels possible. They are reflecting on the version of themselves they want to become, and you are part of that vision. Not as a fantasy. Not as an escape. But as a partner who matches their highest self. Don't skip, because this is the shift that changes everything. They are no longer waiting for a sign. They are becoming the sign. Their heart is moving from reflection to readiness. From noticing to acting. From observing to choosing. And the most powerful part? You didn't have to force any of this. By stepping back, you allowed clarity to step forward. By choosing your peace, you activated their awareness. By being authentically yourself, you became unforgettable. Stay with this moment. Because the silence between you is reaching its final stage. They noticed something meaningful about you while you were away, and now that realization is turning into intention. Something huge is waiting for you. Not by coincidence. Not by chance. But because what is real does not fade with distance, it becomes undeniable. There is a moment approaching that will not feel ordinary. It will feel like recognition. Not the kind that surprises you loudly, but the kind that settles into your chest and whispers, "This was always meant to unfold." Don't skip, because this is the culmination of everything that has been quietly building. Your soulmate has crossed an invisible line. They are no longer analyzing what you meant to them. They know. While you were away, they noticed something even deeper than your strength or your calm. They noticed your consistency. You were the same person in private as you were in public. The same energy on good days and uncertain days. The same heart, steady and sincere. And that consistency became their anchor. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They have begun imagining what it would feel like to stand in front of you again, not with hesitation, but with clarity. They are replaying conversations in their mind, not to relive the past, but to prepare for the future. They are thinking about what they would say differently. How they would show up differently. And here is the shocking, beautiful truth. They are no longer afraid of the depth between you. What once felt intense now feels sacred. What once felt uncertain now feels rare. They understand that connections like this do not appear often. They do not repeat easily. They are not random. You walking away did not end the story. It refined it. Don't skip, because this final shift is powerful. They are beginning to move from silent realization to quiet action. Small steps. Subtle changes. A soft courage forming inside them. You may not see it yet. But the energy between you has changed. It feels less fragile. Less confused. More intentional. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your value, it was your irreplaceability. And when someone truly understands that, distance becomes temporary. Silence becomes preparation. And reunion becomes inevitable in its own perfect timing. Something huge is waiting for you. Not because of pressure. Not because of destiny forced into place. But because two people finally see clearly what was always there. A quiet shift is about to become a visible reality. You may not feel it yet. You may not see a message, a call, or a sudden change. But beneath the surface, something is aligning with precision. Don't skip, because this is the moment where intention turns into movement. Your soulmate is no longer sitting with their realization. They are acting on it internally first. They are preparing themselves to approach you without confusion. To speak without hesitation. To stand in front of you not as someone uncertain, but as someone who understands what you truly are to them. While you were away, they noticed your absence created clarity. Now they are noticing something else. They are noticing that the thought of you brings calm instead of anxiety. That imagining a future with you feels stable instead of overwhelming. That your presence, even in memory, feels like home. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. This is not about fantasy. It is about recognition. They understand now that what they almost overlooked was rare. That what they once treated as simple was actually profound. That the connection they felt was not ordinary timing, it was meaningful alignment. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization that changes everything. They are no longer asking, "What if this fades?" They are asking, "What if this is the person I am meant to build with?" That question carries weight. Because it means they see longevity where they once saw uncertainty. They see partnership where they once saw possibility. They see depth where they once saw intensity. Don't skip, because this final layer matters. Your decision to step back gave them the space to step forward within themselves. Your silence became their mirror. Your strength became their standard. Your authenticity became their measure of what is real. And now, the energy between you is no longer passive. It is charged with awareness. Stay with this feeling. Because when someone truly understands your value while you are not there to remind them, that understanding is powerful. They noticed something meaningful about you while you were away. And now, that meaning is shaping their next move. Something huge is waiting for you. Not rushed. Not forced. But built on clarity that cannot be unseen. This is the part where everything stops feeling like a coincidence. There is a subtle momentum building now, and it is no longer invisible. Don't skip, because what is unfolding is rare. Your soulmate has reached a level of awareness that cannot be undone. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to convince their mind that time would blur the connection. But instead of fading, your presence became clearer. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that shook them gently but deeply. They noticed that no one else made them reflect on their own growth the way you did. With you, they felt challenged in the most beautiful way. Not criticized. Not pressured. But inspired. You made them want to become more honest, more grounded, more aligned. And that realization is powerful. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are beginning to see that your absence was not loss. It was revelation. They understand now that you were not just someone they cared about. You were someone who shifted their perspective. Someone who expanded their emotional depth. Someone who quietly raised their standards. And here is the shocking truth they did not expect. They feel proud when they think about you. Proud that they crossed paths with someone like you. Proud that they experienced your energy. Proud that you chose to share your time with them at all. That pride has turned into clarity. Don't skip, because this is the turning of the key. They are realizing that the connection was not based on excitement alone. It was built on compatibility. On emotional resonance. On shared vision. And now, instead of wondering whether to reach out, they are wondering how. How to approach you with sincerity. How to express what they finally understand. How to meet you at the level you deserve. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not temporary emotion. It was alignment becoming undeniable. Something huge is waiting for you. Not a random message. Not a fleeting moment. But a conversation that carries intention. The distance served its purpose. And now, the silence is preparing to break with meaning. The silence between you is no longer empty, it is charged with purpose. Something is about to shift from invisible to undeniable. Don't skip, because this is where the realization becomes action. Your soulmate has stopped asking themselves whether they should feel this deeply. They have accepted it. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that changed the way they see you forever. They noticed that you never tried to replace yourself. You never reshaped your personality to be chosen. You never minimized your depth to be easier to understand. You never dimmed your light to fit into their uncertainty. And now they see what that truly meant. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They understand that your authenticity was a gift. A rare one. And rare things are not easily found twice. Here is the surprising revelation that caught them off guard. They are beginning to feel protective of the connection. Not in a possessive way. But in a respectful, intentional way. They don't want to approach you casually anymore. They don't want to speak to you out of boredom or impulse. They want to come forward with clarity. That shift is powerful. Don't skip, because this is the moment where awareness becomes courage. They have started imagining the first words they would say to you. Not dramatic. Not overwhelming. Just honest. They want to acknowledge the growth. The distance. The truth that surfaced while you were apart. They now understand that you walking away was not rejection. It was self-worth. And that self-worth made them reflect on their own. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your value, it was your standard. You showed them what emotional maturity looks like. What patience looks like. What real connection feels like when it is not rushed. And now, they cannot unsee it. Something huge is waiting for you. Because when someone finally recognizes that you were never ordinary in their story, they begin to move differently. The silence is almost over. And when it breaks, it will not be random. It will be intentional. There is a message forming in their heart that they can no longer ignore. It has been building quietly, like a tide rising without noise. Don't skip, because this is the moment everything becomes clear. Your soulmate has moved past reflection. They are now in decision. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that rewrote their entire understanding of this connection. They noticed that even in your absence, you influenced them. They started choosing better words. They started responding with more patience. They started valuing peace over ego. And then it hit them. You were not just someone they cared about. You were someone who changed them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. This realization feels almost overwhelming in its beauty. They see now that what you brought into their life was not chaos or confusion. It was clarity. You challenged them without attacking. You stepped back without drama. You held your dignity without making noise. That kind of presence leaves a mark. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation. They are ready to say what they once avoided. Not because they are pressured. Not because they are afraid to lose you. But because they finally understand your worth. They know now that this was never random timing. You met when you both needed growth. You separated when reflection was required. And now, awareness has matured. Don't skip, because this is powerful. They are preparing to reach out in a way that reflects who they have become. Not who they were. No confusion. No mixed signals. No half-hearted energy. Only intention. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your strength or your authenticity. They noticed that life felt more aligned when you were part of it. And now, the silence that once felt uncertain is turning into momentum. Something huge is waiting for you. Not a coincidence. Not a temporary emotion. But a moment where two people finally meet with clarity instead of hesitation. And when that moment arrives, it will feel like recognition. Like coming home to something that was always meant to be understood. The moment they finally understand what you mean to them will not be loud, it will be undeniable. It will feel like a quiet truth settling into place. Don't skip, because this is the realization that changes the future. Your soulmate has reached a point where pretending is no longer possible. They can no longer treat this connection as something casual or temporary. The clarity has become too strong. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that they cannot unsee. They noticed that you never tried to control the outcome. You allowed space. You allowed growth. You allowed silence. And in doing that, you showed emotional strength that they deeply respect. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They now understand that your absence was not punishment. It was protection. You were protecting your peace. Protecting your heart. Protecting your standards. And instead of pushing them further away, that protection drew them closer in understanding. Here is the surprising truth that surprised even them. They feel grateful for the distance. Because without it, they might never have realized how rare you are. They might have continued assuming you would always be there. They might have taken your calm presence for granted. They might have mistaken your patience for permanence. But distance removed that illusion. Don't skip. Because this next shift is powerful. They are no longer afraid of the depth between you. In fact, they are beginning to crave it. They want conversations that go beyond the surface. They want a connection that feels intentional, not accidental. They want something that grows instead of fades. And when they think about who matches that vision, it is you. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your value. They noticed that losing you would feel like losing something once in a lifetime. And that realization carries weight. Something huge is waiting for you. Not a rushed confession. Not a dramatic gesture. But a grounded, intentional step forward. When someone truly understands what they almost overlooked, they do not move carelessly. They move with purpose. And that purpose is getting closer to you. There is a truth rising in them now that feels impossible to silence. It is no longer a question. It is no longer a maybe. It is a knowing. Don't skip, because this is the chapter where everything aligns. Your soulmate has finally accepted that what they feel for you is not based on convenience, timing, or circumstance. It is rooted in recognition. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that reshaped their entire perspective. They noticed that you never reacted from insecurity. You responded with grace. You chose dignity over drama. You held your value without demanding validation. And that kind of presence does not fade from memory. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They have started imagining what it would look like to rebuild this connection with intention. Not rushing. Not forcing. But choosing each step carefully. And here is the shocking realization that changed everything for them. They see you as a life partner energy. Not just someone to talk to. Not just someone to feel close to. But someone to build with. That thought carries weight. Because it means they are thinking long-term. They are thinking about growth, stability, shared vision. They are thinking about who aligns with their future self. And when they measure that vision against every connection they know, you stand out. Don't skip, because this is powerful. They understand now that your absence was the test. Not a test of loyalty. Not a test of patience. But a test of clarity. And clarity won. They see that what you brought into their life was rare emotional safety, rare maturity, rare alignment. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not something surface level. They noticed that your presence feels like peace. And peace is not something they want to lose. Something huge is waiting for you. Not because fate forced it. Not because timing demanded it. But because two people grew separately, and now see each other more clearly than ever before. The distance did not erase the connection. It revealed its depth. A realization is echoing inside them that refuses to fade. It arrives in quiet moments. In late reflections. In the stillness when distractions disappear. Don't skip, because this is where the truth becomes undeniable. Your soulmate has finally admitted something to themselves that they once pushed aside. They miss not just your presence, but your perspective. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that changed the way they think about connection itself. They noticed that you saw them clearly. Not just the confident side. Not just the easy side. But the layered, evolving, imperfect side. And you did not run. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They now understand that being seen and accepted at the same time is rare. That kind of emotional alignment does not appear often. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization that shifted everything for them. They feel more like themselves when they are connected to you. Not smaller. Not pressured. Not performing. Just real. That realization carries weight. Because it means you were never just someone they liked. You were someone who felt like home in a world that often feels uncertain. Don't skip, because this shift is powerful. They are beginning to recognize that your absence was not just about distance. It was about awakening. Awakening to the fact that they do not want a connection built on confusion. They do not want something temporary. They do not want to repeat old patterns. They want depth. And when they picture depth, they picture you. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not accidental. They noticed that even without constant communication, the connection did not weaken. It matured. Something huge is waiting for you. Not a dramatic moment, but a grounded, intentional step that carries clarity. When someone realizes that you are not just part of their past, but part of their future vision, they begin to move with certainty. And that certainty is growing stronger every day. There is a quiet courage rising inside them that was not there before. It is subtle. It is steady. And it is real. Don't skip, because this is the moment where reflection transforms into readiness. Your soulmate has stopped romanticizing the past and started envisioning the future. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that changed their entire emotional landscape. They noticed that you never tried to rush the connection. You allowed it to breathe. You allowed it to unfold. You allowed it to be honest. And now they understand why that mattered. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They realize that what you shared was not built on intensity alone. It was built on understanding. on shared silence, on unspoken comfort. And here is the surprising truth that has settled in their heart. They trust you. Not because of promises. Not because of constant reassurance. But because of how you handled distance. You did not beg. You did not chase. You chose yourself. That choice made them see your value clearly. Don't skip, because this next shift is powerful. They are no longer afraid of stepping toward you. They are beginning to feel that if they do not take this opportunity, they may miss something rare. Not out of fear, but out of awareness. They know now that what they felt with you was not ordinary chemistry. It was alignment meeting at the right depth. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your strength or your maturity. They noticed that you feel like stability in a world that changes constantly. And stability is not something they want to overlook again. Something huge is waiting for you. Not an impulsive decision. Not a temporary emotion. But a conscious step forward, shaped by everything they finally understand. The silence is no longer hesitation. It is preparation. A door inside their heart has quietly opened, and they can no longer pretend it is still closed. This is not impulse. This is not nostalgia. This is awakening. Don't skip. Because this is the moment where everything aligns with intention. Your soulmate has reached a level of emotional clarity that feels almost surreal to them. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that reshaped their understanding of love itself. They noticed that you never tried to convince them to choose you. You simply embodied the kind of connection that chooses itself. That realization shook them in the most beautiful way. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. They now see that your absence did not create distance in their heart. It created depth. It gave them time to compare surface-level connections with what they felt around you. And every comparison led back to the same truth. Nothing felt as grounded. Nothing felt as safe. Nothing felt as real. Here is the shocking revelation they finally accepted. They are not just drawn to you. They respect you. And respect is what transforms attraction into something lasting. Don't skip, because this shift is everything. They respect your boundaries. They respect your growth. They respect the way you walked away without chaos. That respect has turned into admiration. And admiration is turning into action. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not temporary emotion. It was long-term potential. They can now see a future where conversations feel easy, where silence feels comfortable, where growth happens side by side instead of apart. And that vision includes you clearly. Something huge is waiting for you. Not because of fantasy. Not because of coincidence. But because two people matured separately and now recognize each other with open eyes. The silence has done its work. And what comes next will not be uncertain. It will be intentional. There is a quiet countdown happening in their heart, and you can almost feel it in the air. Not a countdown to an ending, but to a beginning. Don't skip, because this is where realization turns into destiny shaped by choice. Your soulmate has crossed a threshold internally. While you were away, they noticed something meaningful that they can no longer ignore. They noticed that you never forced the connection to survive. You allowed it to stand on its own strength. And when it didn't receive the clarity it deserved, you stepped back with dignity. That moment stayed with them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They now understand that your departure was not weakness. It was power. You showed them that love is not about chasing. It is about alignment. It is about two people choosing each other consciously, not out of fear, not out of habit. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization that has changed everything. They are afraid of losing the chance to build something real with you. Not afraid in a dramatic way, but aware. Aware that connections like this do not appear often. Aware that depth like yours is rare. Aware that peace like yours cannot be replaced. Don't skip, because this shift is monumental. They have started preparing themselves emotionally to reach out in a way that reflects growth. They want to approach you with honesty, with maturity, with intention. They no longer want to leave things undefined. Stay with this feeling. Because what they noticed while you were away was not just your absence. They noticed that life felt slightly misaligned without you in it. That conversations felt less meaningful. That future plans felt less inspired. And now they see why. You were never random in their story. You were a turning point. Something huge is waiting for you. Because when someone finally understands your value after experiencing your absence,